Greetings, grace, peace, and blessings to you and all. Thank you for watching. So I have been thinking about what happened with the riots of 2020 and word, and how um, certain people really pushed getting certain protocols and were abusive and tyrannical, and whether it was the grocer or the library circulation desk person or whatever that was forcing something that was about control, and it had nothing to do with about protecting themselves or protecting me from an infection. And there has been no remorse. Not a single person that I know that did it to other people because they were in a position of power. None of the people that were trying to make me feel guilty about my skin color, who were the same skin color, but just virtue signaling so hard, opening up their mind so much that their brain has fallen out, and they were just expecting me to um, sacrifice myself on their altar of virtue signaling. And anyway, so this has been distressing for me, and I think for other people, that a lot of us were thrown under the bus. People died, and people died a horrible death. If you look into what hospitals did with remdesivir and the vents, because there was all this money to get, like up to 500,000 for each CV death. So that's kill a patient for $500,000. And a hospital isn't there. We know medicine isn't there to keep you healthy. Medicine is there to make a lot of money for their investors or for their shareholders. It is, just look at what the Hippocratic Oath, it states it's to Apollyon. Apollo in the Bible is known as Satan. And it's so blatant. That's the thing. People are like, oh, it can't be that simple. It is. It's very strange, but true. So our friends, our family, the trusted agents of the public good, are complicit in a genocide. And the majority of CV deaths are known to be in the UK and the USA, in particular in hospitals and nursing homes. And it was predominantly white countries that were forced to get that injection, where it was just like the programming, the propaganda, the tyranny was really strong. I mean, remember Australia and Canada. Canada like shut down people's bank accounts for just donating to the truckers who were protesting. Okay, but I have not one person that was pro lockdown in 2020 has, in my life, that I'm still in contact with, has seen any problem with it, has had any qualm, and they're totally into the whole DEI thing, the whole boys and girls bathrooms things. Even if a boy rapes a girl, that's the girl's fault. And it's if you bring it up, you're abuser, you're abusive. If you bring up any of the problems with this totalitarian Bolshevik kill the West culture agenda that's taken over, and it's so nauseating. I mean, I'm in what I thought was the South. I'm in Northwest Arkansas, and it's like women have all the positions of power that is at least visible, and they're trying to be this butch thing, or it's some recent arrival from another country. Anyway, so there's been a genocide, and how do we cope with it? How do we cope with that our neighbor was a genocider, our brother or sister was complicit in genocide, was complicit in killing a family member? and I realize that this has been going on a long time. Insurance, and this is just what I learned recently, like with life insurance, the spouse who remains alive gets paid $500,000, up to that. So that's what happened. I think that um, you know, a spouse or family members didn't fight that hard to protect the loved one because they were told it was hopeless, and they were going to get 500,000 if the person died during a time when everybody's livelihood was shut down. So I think there's a lot of blood money that people are living on, and it's kind of apparent, like with what people are buying. Like I was on Pinterest, and there was this cute little like apron pocket kind of, you know, whatchamacallit, Burning Man-ish kind of a thing. Sorry, I've got this thing pulling my hair. It was $2,000. Okay. Now, it wasn't a Valentino dress or whatever. It didn't have that. It was like it was having that price tag of a big famous fashion designer, but it was just a purse of, kind of it wasn't something designed, worth $2,000. And I'm like, the only person who would spend $2,000 on a purse is somebody who's involved in drug trafficking, human trafficking, or some type of corrupt kind of a thing. Because nobody in their right mind, that's a normal, regular person, is going to waste $2,000 on that, because you've got rent to pay, you've got carpet payments, you've got your children's stuff to pay, you've got your vitamins and food to buy. And it's so anyway. Back to this genocide, though. Like, how do we cope with that? Our family, trusted agents of the public good, have killed a lot of people or enabled the murder, the execution, the genocide of those around them. Like, and I mean, so this happened in Rwanda with the Hutus and the Hutus and the Tutsis. Ugh, I think. Sorry if I got that wrong, and if you know the proper terms, if I missed up, just put it in the comments. And then it happened in the Baltics. Like the Serbs were killing the Croats, and Bosnians were killing the Croats, and the Croats were killing, the Serbs, and everybody was killing everybody. And these were former neighbors. Same thing with Rwanda. And I think that there's propaganda that does it. There's also mind control through electromagnetic frequencies. There was this thing called Operation Crimson Mist, which was used in Rwanda. So I don't know if it was for the whole every incident, um, so we have these satanic people that are engineering us to kill each other. So what do you do when you're the survivors and you weren't killed by the killers, and the killers are still just around? Like, the killers have not been held to account. They have no conscience for it. They think that the deaths that they are complicit in were justified. So, like, you know, and we know those who survived, those who didn't, who opted out of the poison poke. Like, we know that they're going to try to do it again. And these killers, these like just Agent Smith type people, will kill us if they can another time, given the chance, given half a chance. Like, do people really just want to kill other people? Are people so, our friends and family and associates and the trusted agents of the public good, are they just so um depraved and just putting on an act the rest of the time? But when told, oh, you got to kill your neighbor, yeah, they'll do it. They'll hold you down and suffocate you and poke you with poisons. So I'm having a hard time, like, because it's like my friends and family, they were complicit. They were complicit in the genocide, and they still are. They'll still stab a white heterosexual Christian person in the back for DEI. Um, even if it's themselves, even if it's each other, it's demonic. And yet these people, I mean, we don't have a whole lot of contact because they want me to believe what they believe, and I'm like, "You're killers." I don't tell them they're killers, but I'm trying to, make them aware, make them have a conscience, and they don't want to. They don't, they're like, "Don't talk to me about it." And so it's like, how have other people coped when their fellow countrymen killed everybody around them, just didn't get to kill you? Like, you know, I can't completely erase them from my life because they're there, even though they would have easily happily erased me. And I just don't want to. I just don't feel like, well, I'm never going to talk to you again. Um, but I don't really know how to process what happened. Uh, because it's kind of a big deal. It's like it's this crazy. It's a crazy situation when our friends and family and trusted agents of the public good killed other people for money, for some weird mind virus or whatever, and they still don't care. They're still happy about it. They would do it all over again. So, like, how have other people coped and healed from something like this? And so, yeah, like the Balkan Wars, Rwanda, I think Cambodia. There was the killing fields. Um, like, how have other uh, peoples uh, handled the aftermath of genocide, like of actual genocide, not some weird projection Bolshevik twisted thing trying to blame the victim. Like, I'm talking about a real situation. So, yeah, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if it's just a normal kind of healing situation. It seems a little bit more complex. But I guess it starts with calming down your own nervous system and just being in the present and going from there. Um, I guess, like, for me, I wish I just knew how to better have spoken to everybody about it. Um, and even now, I wonder how, because all the killers or the enablers of the killers want is me to be silent. And I'm just like, you're a murderer. You're, or you enabled murder. You enabled genocide. So I'm just trying to figure that out. If you guys have any ideas of any books or suggestions, let me know. So thank you for watching and God bless.